November 12th, 1943. A cramped office in the Bendler Block, Berlin. The building at 76 Tirpitzufer housed the nerve center of German Army intelligence operations. Here, two of the Wehrmacht's top analysts were about to face a truth that would destroy every belief the German High Command had about their enemy. Colonel Reinhard Gehlen, head of Foreign Armies East, sat across from Colonel Alexis von Roehne, who led Foreign Armies West. Both men had earned their roles through sharp analysis and careful attention to detail. They had spent years studying enemy strengths with expert skill. Now, they stared at papers that meant something worse than any lost battle. Between them was a stack of ordinary-looking documents, standard American military supply reports captured in Italy. The forms were boring, filled with numbers about supplies delivered, used, and ordered. Nothing about them hinted they showed why Germany could never win. But the numbers revealed an industrial power so huge that both officers had spent the past week checking sources, doing math, and hoping for mistakes to make the facts less scary. Von Roehne's hands shook a bit as he slid the top paper across the desk. It was a simple supply order form from the American Fifth Army in Italy, listing monthly targets for one American corps there. The form was stamped, dated, and signed by several officers. Clearly real. Gehlen read the numbers quietly, his face turning pale as he grasped what they meant. The Americans were sending more ammo to one corps in 1 month than the whole Wehrmacht got on the Eastern Front in the same time. He looked at von Roehne, hoping for a sign this was a mistake or trick. Von Roehne's face gave no hope. He had already done the same math and spent 3 nights wishing he was wrong. "This can't be right," Gehlen said softly, but without real belief. It was more a wish that things weren't so bad. Von Roehne pulled another paper from the stack. "I thought so too. This is a fuel report for the same corps in 1 month. They got 3.2 million gallons of gasoline and 800,000 gallons of diesel." He paused to let it sink in. "I compared it to our fuel supplies. Army Group Center, with 3 armies and over 500,000 men, gets less fuel monthly than this one American corps." The two men had spent the week comparing like this, matching captured American papers with German supply reports, prisoner questions with air scout data, spy info from neutral countries with studies of seized gear. Every source showed the same shocking truth. America wasn't just making more than Germany. They were on a scale that made German factories look old-fashioned. The numbers told a story no bravery, smart tactics, or Nazi beliefs could beat. Germany was fighting math, and math always wins. This moment of awful clarity started months before, but its roots went back years to big mistakes about America's factory power. German spies had tracked Allied factories since before the war, noting locations, output, and resources. But they always badly underestimated what America could do when fully geared up for war. This wasn't just bad work. Nazi racial ideas and Germany's own factory experience made American power seem unreal. Germany's war years shaped what they thought about production. By 1943, the Reich had used every resource, stolen materials and machines from conquered lands, used slave workers on a huge scale, and pushed factories to what seemed like the maximum. Factories ran non-stop. Workers did long hours. Weapon and ammo output had jumped from pre-war levels. Germany made tanks, planes, and guns at rates impossible in 1939. Yet, even with all this, even after taking most of Europe and using its stuff, Even with Albert Speer's push for more output, Germany was losing the stuff war. The big German mistake started before the war. In May 1940, President Franklin Roosevelt told Congress America would make 50,000 planes a year for a big arms buildup. Soon, he added more: 185,000 planes, 120,000 tanks, 55,000 anti-air guns, and 18 million tons of cargo ships in 2 years. These numbers reached Berlin through spies. Hitler and his team laughed them off as American lies to scare Germany and cheer allies. It seemed smart based on facts. In 1939, America made under 3,000 military planes yearly. The U.S. Army was 18th in world size, smaller than Portugal's. U.S. tanks were old and few. The Navy was big, but split between oceans and focused on defense. How could a country with weak military jump production 60 times in 2 years? It broke every rule of factory buildup from German know-how. Building plants took years. Training workers took months. Testing methods needed lots of tries. Roosevelt's words seemed like a scared leader's dream, not real. Reich Marshal Hermann Göring, Luftwaffe boss and close to Hitler, reportedly laughed at Roosevelt's speech. Though the exact words come from later stories, not old German papers, historians say Göring claimed Americans could only make fridges and razors, not war gear to beat Germany. Whether true or not, the idea was real. German leaders truly thought U.S. factories weren't fit for war stuff. This seemed true from facts. America was great at consumer goods like cars and home items. But war gear needed different skills, setup, and engineering. German factories had prepped for war since 1933. How could U.S. consumer makers match German war factories? The Germans missed a key thing about U.S. potential that decided the war. The Great Depression had left huge factories idle or half-used. Millions of skilled workers were jobless or underworked. Machines for cars, tractors, or fridges sat unused or slow. What looked like weakness was really huge spare power ready to start. When Roosevelt called for war buildup, he wasn't asking to build new stuff from zero. He wanted to switch existing plants, rehire workers, and reuse ready machines. The setup was there, just redirected. Germany had no such spare. By 1940, German factories ran near full. Nazis had armed up since 1933, growing war output yearly. Little idle stuff to start, few jobless workers to hire, no machines sitting. German growth meant new plants from scratch, taking enemy lands with factories, or slave work. Each took years and had limits. The start difference: U.S. spare versus. German full meant America ramped up faster and bigger. German spies, especially Foreign Armies West under Von Roehne, tracked allies. Von Roehne was from old Prussian army family, serving Germany for generations. He was pro, careful, detail-focused, objective. His team got info from air scouts, radio listens, spies in neutral lands, deep prisoner questions, and captured papers. In 1941 to 1942, as America joined and geared up, Berlin's info was spotty and mixed. Some reports showed huge output jumps, factories on shifts, planes rolling out. Others showed struggles, strikes, bad methods, poor gear. High command picked the nice reports that fit their ideas of U.S. weakness. This bias wasn't just German. All armies like info that matches beliefs. But for Germany, it cost everything. After all, Germany won big in 1941 to early 1942. Poland in weeks, France in 6, Yugoslavia in 11 days. They held Norway, Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, most France, big Soviet chunks. Luftwaffe was top air force. Tanks and tactics beat all. U-boats sank Allied ships faster than built, or so Berlin thought. Why fear a country unused to big war since 1918, with tiny army, old tanks, consumer factories? This confidence cracked in North Africa with U.S. landing in Operation Torch, November 8, 1942. Germans expected weak troops with bad gear, easy to beat. Instead, they met something else. Americans were green, true. Early fights like Kasserine Pass in February 1943 were U.S. losses. Germans pushed back 50 miles, killed over 1,000, took prisoners, grabbed gear. Tactics won. But something worried German leaders: the huge amount of U.S. gear. Lost units got new stuff in days or hours. Supplies flowed endless. German wins couldn't build because U.S. logistics soaked losses and kept going. Captured U.S. dumps had more than German army groups. U.S. guns fired ammo at dream rates. Infantry had trucks like no Wehrmacht unit. General Erwin Rommel, Axis boss in North Africa from February 1941 to March 1943, recall, sent worried reports to Berlin. Each U.S. division had more trucks than a German corps. Logistics fleets bigger than German armies. Captured supplies were huge: food, fuel, ammo, parts, meds, in wasteful amounts by German view. Rommel, tactic genius, knew tactics didn't matter against such stuff power. He urged pullout from Africa. Allied air/sea plus endless supplies made loss sure, no matter battles. Reports noted, filed, ignored. Rommel was pessimist, always wanting more, seeing problems over chances. Hitler rejected, saying will and tactics beat numbers. Führer's view couldn't allow factories over ideology or skill, but analysts couldn't ignore. Through 1943, as war turned bad on fronts, bad data piled up. After Axis give up in Tunisia, May 13, 1943, spies questioned approximately 125,000 captured Germans, from 250,000 to 275,000 total prisoners. Questions sought not just fight details, but big Allied power, especially U.S. stories matched across ranks. Units all described U.S. supply waste, thrown food if disliked, abandoned vehicles for small fixes, easier to get new, dumps bigger than German armies, meds abundant like sulfa drugs scarce in Germany. Captured got better food as POWs than soldiers. Some stories seemed wild, suspected lies or propaganda, but hundreds matched, hard to ignore. Officers, enlisted, paratroops, infantry, tanks, guns, all said same on U.S. stuff edge. These matched other fronts: Sicily, July to August, 1943. Italy, September, 1943. Everywhere versus. Americans, endless supplies. POW stories worrying, but dismissible as upset losers' tales. Then, more captured papers came. Hard, office stuff, no dismiss. One key, monthly supply report from U.S. Corps in Italy, fall 1943. Stamped tar signed, listed deliveries. Use for approximately 80,000 men, like German Corps size. But that's it. U.S. Corps got 3.2 million gallons gas, 800,000 gallons diesel monthly. Gehlen compared, Army Group Center, hundreds of thousands men, got less. Difference not small, whole new level. Ammo, 15,000 tons artillery monthly. German Corps, approximately 2,000 tons. Adequate. Americans fired 7 times rate. Sustainable. Not special push. Normal. Implications huge. U.S. guns could fire endless. Drain German ammo in days. Vehicle replaces. 1 month normal ops. No big fights. 847 trucks. 127 jeeps, 43 tanks, 68 guns for losses, sharp fixes. Not extras. Keep levels. German whole production, last month fewer tanks than this corps got, replaces. Math clear. If US replaced like this for one corps, with dozens out, logistics beat German make by huge amounts. Von Roehne studied papers with pro skill. Aristocrat from Prussian line, but objective analyst. If one corps used this, US with dozens in Med, Pacific, prepping West Europe, total beyond Germany. He asked more on US factories from sources. Spies in Swiss or Sweden, neutral trade stats, captured manuals, Schachter serial numbers for output guesses, US news on factory growth. Each source flawed, but together undeniable. US tank story shocking. 1941, approximately 4,021 tanks, unimpressive to Germans, who made more. 1942, 26,608, 6x jump. Germans thought lies or all armored types, but captures POW spies confirmed. 1943, 37,198 peak. Germany, approximately 5,530 1942, approximately 11,600 1943. Big effort, max capacity. Americans 3 times more, gap growing. Planes worse. Germany approximately 15,596 military 1942, celebrated. US 47,836, 3 times. Thought lies or non-fight types, but combat. 1943, US 85,898 versus. Germany approximately 20,600 to 4 times. 1944, US 96,318 versus. Germany approximately 39,807 peak, then drop. Total US approximately 300,317 over Roosevelt's goal. Sky to allies by factories, not just pilots, just quality. Build faster than losses, replaces. Shipping key, German plan. U-boats cut US-UK lines. Sink faster than build. Starve Britain. Make US output useless. Tracked losses close. 1942, 1,322 ships. 6.3 million tons. Best year seemed win. U-boat chief Karl Donitz said sink rates force give up before US factories matter. But Allied shipping grew 1942. Why? Answer, US build beyond German grasp. Papers charged spies mentioned Liberty ships. Standard cargo, built fast. Germans laughed off as lies. Average 42 days keel to launch, some less than 2 weeks. Impossible by German ship know-how, months, years, custom, skilled work. But POWs saw dozens. Papers, serials, thousands. Air photos, yards with many. Spies confirmed. Naval experts checked. Yes, possible. Weld not rivet, prefab sections parallel. Assembly line from cars to ships. New yards. Train thousands, including women, for weld fab. Peak, 3 Liberty per day. 1943, 19.2 million tons launched versus. 2.6 million sunk. 7 times faster build. Math killed U-boat plan. Can't sink enough versus build. 2 ships showed. SS Robert E. Peary, 4 days, 15.5 hours, November 1942. SS Joseph N. Teal, 10 days, September 1942. Germans thought fake, but sources true. Special stunts with prefab post-launch work. Not routine, inefficient, but proved days, not months possible. US-level Germany couldn't. Revelations hit 1943 like blows to plans. Each intel confirmed US factory win. Gehlen, East Front Focus, studied US factories via pubs, pre-war surveys, US news. Explained how, but made hopeless. US approximately 41% world industry pre-war. Germany, plus conquered Europe approximately 12%, but more. US scale/efficiency unbeatable. Captured tank manual enlightening. Chrysler Arsenal Detroit, 10,000 workers, M4 Shermans on auto lines. Peak 896 per month December 1942, sustained 600 to 800. Hold German early 1943, approximately 600 per month total. One US plant equals all Germany, and many US plants. Manual, assembly lines, parallel subs, hulls, turrets, engines. Special tasks not full craft. Jigs for fit. Interchangeable parts. Stat checks. German. Artisan-like, skilled fits, tight tolerances, high finish. Better tanks. Panther Tiger feared, but one Panther versus. 15 Shermans. Math. Tiger kill 5 Shermans, but 15 overwhelm. US multiple programs, 11 facilities for Sherman. Auto, egg, loco firms. No prior tank, but use skills. Distributed. Resilient. Hard, disrupt. Artillery. Germany approximately 11,000 all types 1943 max, including occupied. US approximately 43,000 to 4 times, plus Lend-Lease thousands. US fire huge, not by tech, German, often better volume. Hours ammo greater than German weeks. Trucks starkest. War needs wheels. Wehrmacht part, horse-drawn. Hundreds of thousands horses for gear, supplies. Not choice, vehicle lack. Germany, approximately 100,000 trucks. 1943, total mil, CIEC. Never full motor. Infantry, horse-drawn. Only elite full truck. US, approximately 620,000, 1943, mostly million. Lend-Lease, 427,000, 284 to USSR alone. Germany total war trucks. US division more transport than German panzer. Supplies fleets greater than German armies. Battle effect. US concentrate supplies fast. Advance with constant flow. Red Ball Express, post-Normandy. 5,958 vehicles. Peak, dedicated roads. Record 12,342 tons per day. August 29th, 1944. Average 12,500 peak. One convoy. Whole German West Europe supplies. Germans tried similar fuel breakdowns, air attacks, org issues. US overwhelmed via scale. Papers showed US oil no limit. Germany short always, no home oil, synthetic from coal, big effort. Romania imports, protect lines. Ops limited by fuel. 1942, Caucasus push for Soviet oil, not land. US units got more fuel than could use. Used for heat/jeans/wreck trips. Waste by German eyes. 1943, US 1.4 billion barrels, approximately 2/3 world. Germany 40 to 50 million, less than 4%. Fuel dumps greater than Germany stocks. Bulge battle. German plan capture US fuel. Admit weakness. Steel base of all. Germany 30 million tons, 1943, max, Incal occupied. US 81M, nearly 3 times. USSR 18 million. Allied approximately 150 million versus 30M-5:1. More steel equals more everything. Germany 5 fronts with 1/5 steel. Gehlen/Von Roehne, weeks late 1943, analyzed desperate checked errors. None. Brought others, same end. US factories make Germany cottage. USSR rebuilt greater than Germany. Britain smaller but key tech. Germany versus 3 foes, each bigger in sum. Combined crush in all. Only how long tactics/defense delay loss. December 1943. Report to High Command. Clinical, math, compare production all categories. All. Germany outmade. Gap grows. Projections. 12 to 24 months. Allies 3-1 plus mid 1944, 5-1 plus 1945. Can't sustain. Conclusion: no mill win by factories. Not defeatism, facts. Expected use for real plans. Diplomacy while strong. Reallocate defense. Pick territories. Von Roehne gave to bosses. Knowing, hot. Not defeatist. Pro-record victory commit. Not traitor. Honor clean. Pro-intel for decisions. Expected argue anger. Got worse. Full reject. Hitler called defeatist lies. Hurt morale. Said will tactics tech beat numbers. Cited history. Frederick/Hannibal/Napoleon wins outnumbered. Said Allied numbers fake. Gear bad. USSR collapse. Britain broke. Others agreed. Tactics wins. Better weapons. Panther/Me 262. Defense forts. Troops better trained, lead motivated. Secret weapons change. Von Roehne explained tactics irrelevant versus overwhelm. Quality gone versus 5 times. Dismissed defeatism. Report filed/ignored. High command fail, grasp industrial war. Old traditions. Courage/skill/lead/tactics win wars millennia. Small beat, big by skill. But World War II, first true industrial total, win by factory, greater than field. Leadership, Prussian trained, couldn't accept. Some did. Heinz Guderian studied US gear/papers. Unlimited resources, no win. Rommel after Africa/Italy/France. Tactics nothing versus instant replaces, while Germany dwindles. Led to Hitler plot part. Spear armament minister, 1942. Boosted output, rational Chashtiash slave. Peaks, 1943 to 44. But knew not enough. Post-May 1944. Oil bombs. War lost economically. Said May 12th. Luna raid decided tech war. Knew lost but pushed victory talks. No choice. Analysts kept 1944. Reports ignored. Documented Normandy. June 6th. 5,000 ships. 156,000 troops day 1. Millions after. Logistics beyond Germany. Peak. Mulberry harbors. Temp ports. Size Dover. Built towed. Assembled. Expendable engineering. Weeks post land. Supplies through equals whole Wehrmacht. Normandy dumps square mile stuff. US units used supplies unimaginable. Guns thousands rounds per day. Daily resupply food. Ammo. Gear. Mobile repairs huge parts. Med hospitals better than German civic. Air. Allies thousands sorties per day. Thousands tons bombs. Hundreds losses. Replaced instant. 8th Air Force greater than whole Luftwaffe. 1 bomb group greater than some German Air Corps. Germany peak 39,807, 1944. Then drop. Bombs, fuel, to short. US 96,318, 2 times. Jets like me, 262 superior. 1,400 total versus thousands allied. Quality irrelevant. Late 1944. France logistics. Post-Normandy breakout. U.S. fast advance outran supplies. August to September. Should chance German counter, but U.S. flew supplies. Thousands C-47s daily tons fuel ammo food. Air supply greater than German ground total. Example. Patton 3rd Army fast August. Fuel short September. Halt days. Air emergency. Resume 72 hours. Intel calc. Weak tonnage greater than Luftwaffe, month full. By late 1944, Intel showed not just US win, but Germany end. Soviets east huge numbers. Rebuilt factories, plus US lend-lease. 400,000 trucks, 12,000 armor, 11,000 planes, tons more. West, air total, logistics crush. Germans still skilled tactics, heavy tolls, but outcome sure, numbers. Ardennes, December 1944. Last West attack. Surprise success, advanced days. Seemed prove Hitler will, but doomed by logistics. Planned capture US fuel. no own supply for scale. Hitler said rely on seized dumps. Skorzeny unit near Stavelo. Dump. Burned by U.S. dependency, admit weak. U.S. recover, bring power. Offensive collapses weeks. U.S. losses heavy. Approximately 19,000 killed, 47.5 thousand wounded, 23,000 captured or missed. Replaced month, stronger. Germany, approximately 12,000 killed, 38,000 wounded, 30,000 captured or missing, irreplaceable. No reserves. Battle showed intel right. Tactics initial win nothing versus absorb/continue. Von Roehne didn't see end. Arrested July 1944. Minor July 20 plot tie. New but no active. Executed October 12th, Plötzensee. Death tragic/symbol. Killed messenger bad news. Later found anti-Nazi secret. Fed fake D-Day intel to Hitler. Allied help while German intel. Gehlen survived. End war saved East files. Microfilm/hide Bavaria. Contacted US. Gave files expert on Soviets for Cold War. Led West German intelligence. Story shows modern war truths. Factories win total industrial wars. Courage/skill/ideology matter, but can't beat huge stuff gap. Germans learned via US supply papers. Stats, math. Presented to leaders 1943 to 44. Ignored. Meant admit loss. Papers, not secrets. Routine logs. Power. Show real US make move use, beyond Germany. Logistics-based power. No fuel equals no move. No ammo equals no fight. No food equals no live. Tactics nothing without stuff. Math, no German win. Clear late 1943. Months confirmed. US up. Germany stall drop, USSR recover expand, Britain tech more. Allied edge 3-1, 1943 to 5-1 plus 1945. Human cost ignore. Fought 18 months post impossible. Millions dead in hopeless fights. Cities gone, people wrecked, Europe ruined, Jews killed, all while reports filed on sure loss. Tragedy not loss. Predictable. Documented. Ignored by leaders deny math. Analysts did job. Gather, analyze, present evidence, objective. Fail, not intel. Leaders unwilling truth. Math proof defeat in papers. Corps more than armies. Factories months greater than years. Ships build greater than sink. Fuel plenty versus ration. Steel 5-1. Trucks make German primitive. Proof full. Checked. Sure. Ignored. From 80 years later, analysts write, no win by factories. Math attrition sure loss. No skill beat disparity. But knowledge no change. Leaders picked will, ideology, history over math. War to collapse, ruins, millions dead, Reich gone, proof in occupation, surrender. Lesson beyond World War II. Good intel, worthless if leaders reject bad news. Analysis, nothing versus ideology. Skill, irrelevant versus blind. German intel gave accurate enemy/outcome. Leaders' fantasy, greater than real. Catastrophe may be limited by early math accept. Industrial wars economic. Won factories before fields. Analysts knew 1943. Documented, warned continue only worse defeat, no change. Leaders no accept. Cost millions lives, cities, Germany total wreck. May 1945, papers evidence simple. US more, make transport consume. Edge not small, huge, make loss sure, no matter fields. 3-1 may be beat by tactics gear ground. 5-1 plus no, except big foe errors unlikely. Allied greater than 5-1 many, growing. End. Analysts knew no win, not one find, but build evidence months. Each paper data, stat pattern, POW check, spy back. Picture full, sure. Germany versus 3-5 X factories, gap up. No skill spirit beat in attrition industrial war. Analysts knew, documented, presented. Tragedy not fail analyze, but accurate intel irrelevant versus leaders deny real. Paper's story sure loss in numbers no argue, except blind. Showed enemy abundance impossible by German, but checked many sources. Revealed foe factories overwhelm. German victory dreams, no time material real. By late 1943, only question, how long deny numbers? How many die before math greater than ideology for decisions? Answer, May 7th, 1945. Unconditional surrender, defeat not mainly arms, but math sure industrial wins modern war. Analysts studied papers late 1943, knew truth 18 months early. Warned, presented evidence, showed math. Warnings ignored, millions paid for blind. Papers documented not just logistics, but pointless fight versus factory win. Numbers truth leaders no accept. In industrial war, factories greater than courage, lines greater than tactics, and arithmetic always wins in the end.